Hi, everybody. It's Dave here, and it's hard to believe it's been about 6 months since the COVID crisis started, and we have been through a lot together. And I wanted to begin by just thanking all of you, really thanking you for the incredible work that you're doing every day, and for going the extra mile every day, like you've been doing, to provide great care, what we call the Broadmead way, for our residents and supporting their families. And it's been very difficult, of course, for residents' families as well. And, the word that comes to mind when I think about what we've been doing is one of the words that you picked as staff. I don't know if you can see it here, but the word resilient. And what the word resilient means, it means we keep bouncing back. We stay strong. And that's how I view you as our staff, that you're staying strong and being resilient as the challenges continue to come along. And I did want to mention, flu season, as you all know, is just around the corner. And I just want to ask us to stay resilient, and just to really remain vigilant. And it's so important in each of our personal lives. When we leave work, it's important what we do away from work as well. That goes for me too. Some of you may have heard, it was in the paper, there was a COVID case in Bear Mountain where I live. And so my wife and I have had to be very careful, and not quite quarantining, but being very careful over the last few weeks in our own community. So I ask all of you to do your very best so that we can keep our residents safe in all of our care homes. But remember, as I've said in the previous video, we're doing everything we can to make sure a COVID outbreak never occurs, but we know it could occur. It could happen, or a flu outbreak. And if that was to occur this fall, we know what to do. We're very good at managing outbreaks. So if that were to occur, we can be confident we can work together and manage it very, very well. I did want to acknowledge many of you are working lots of overtime. And the COVID crisis has created a staffing crisis throughout long-term care in British Columbia. It's very difficult. And many of you have been stepping in the gap, working double shifts, working overtime. And I just want to thank you for doing that. I know we can't continue doing that forever. And we are working really hard, on other strategies, on recruiting strategies to try and hire more people. They're beginning to work. And I do want to ask you two things, though, two particular things. If you are a part-time employee, please, if you want to, please take on extra hours. We have lots of extra hours available. So if you're part-time, please pick up extra shifts whenever you can. That'll help the team. And if you're an auxiliary staff member, if you can, please make yourself as available as possible for extra hours, and that will be a great help as well to the team. I also wanted to acknowledge that we've had so much feedback from families about how you, the staff, have been advancing the Broadmead way. You've been really going the extra mile for our residents and for their families during this time. And we've received a lot of feedback from families. But I also just wanted to say, the Broadmead way applies to each of us as well. Building communities where every person can experience well-being and happiness. That means us too. That means you too. And each of us is experiencing something unique as we go with our families through our own experience with COVID. And it's difficult, even for me personally. Some of you know I became a granddad, last year. Well, I have not been able to see my grandson because he's not in Canada. And I can't visit my sons either because they're not in Canada. So it's been difficult. I know many of you are experiencing something very similar. So we're all going through different experiences. And so when we come to work, it's so important that we apply that Broadmead way, that sense of wanting to support each other's well-being and happiness, and do that as best we can for each other as well. Kind of brings me back to the shirt again. The biggest word that you picked, and if you can see it all right in the middle, is the word teamwork. And that's just about us being there for each other and working together. You have been doing it, and I want to encourage us to continue doing that. So thanks again for being resilient, for just bouncing back, for staying strong, for filling the gap. And I'm impressed deeply by each of you every day. So let's keep that up. And there's still challenges ahead for sure. But thank you again for everything you've been doing. And let's continue that great teamwork as we work through the weeks and months ahead.